Last week I did the exploration on Ishard Cliffs, so naturally, let's follow it up with Wyveria Ruins, which is the last big area in this game, for now at least. Well, without further ado, let's jump straight into it. As always, let's just start from the base camp. Should be a relatively short video, compared to the other 4 at least. Oh yeah, Solonaria right here. Actually, I wonder why the Solonarias are gathering right here. Like, converging. Anyway, let's go here first and grab the fruits. Wyveria Lantern, I think. Okay, so I think the description says something about it being rare. Yeah, basically. Scarce vegetation in ruins of Wyveria, but there's actually a somewhat conflicting description. I'll just show you later. It's not exactly conflicting, but well, I'll talk about it later. Oh, Guardian Seikret. Actually, one of the unfortunate things for me is the fact that we cannot observe Seikret in the wild. Well, I mean, we can observe our own Seikret, but it's domesticated, basically. Oh. Alright, sure, I'll just slay some of you. So it's Palmer right here, before I read the description. It's kind of funny how they use their front foot instead of their, I mean, rear leg, you know? Because if we're talking about real-life raptors, or at least the depiction of real-life raptors, most uses their rear foot. Oh, it says it's usually in 2 to 3. This one is in 4 individual spec, I think. The gait is very raptor-like. Aside from the fact that they attack with their front foot. Let's observe their corpse. Because it's easier that way, you know? Oh. Wait. Uniform teeth, and yeah, this right here is interesting. This is like the typical... Wait. Yeah, it's like reverse. Oh. Let's focus on Guardian Seikret first, or Seikret in general. Well, you know how the raptors have these enlarged claws, which can be folded on their rear foot, but Seikret have it on their front foot. And of course, so does the real Seikret, the non-Guardian one. So that's why they attack with their front foot. Because it's the reverse of our real-world raptors. Or at least, what we think of how our real-world raptors work. Because they are extinct. Can't really see them. But we can theorize from their fossil records, of course. Anyway, let's go down. By the way, there's barely anything to talk about in Wyveria Ruins. I mean, Ruins of Wyveria. Because, well, most of the creatures here are also in the other areas which I've already talked about, and yeah, there's barely anything to say. So there's probably gonna be a lot of fast forwarding in this video. I'm not sure for now because I'll do that during editing, but we'll see. Most likely it'll be though. Oh, by the way, what's kind of funny to me is even though the life is kind of scarce in Wyveria ruins, there's not a lot of vegetations and so on and so on. There's a lot of honey, which is kind of interesting because bees need to collect nectars from flowering plants to make honey in the first place. Where do the bees that lives in Wyveria ruins get their nectars from? I mean, sure, there are some flowers right here, but the emphasis of Wyveria ruins, ruins of Wyveria, is the fact that there's barely any vegetations, like I showed earlier in the Wyveria lantern description. That's one of the contradiction. I'll show you another one later, soon enough. Like, probably within 5 minutes, because the two creatures are here. Let's see, where are they? Some Gokis here from the voice. Oh, there, Petalflies. So, in the description, it says Petalflies like places with a lot of vegetations, especially flowers. Actually, it's not exactly a good situation to observe. Two guardians are going after me after all, literally. But you know, I'll try my best. Let's find the Petalflies again because oh, yeah. Let's see if I can. Nope. I am thrown around. Okay, sure, let's look for the Tyrant hopper. Or whatever it's called, the red hopper. Where is it? Should be right around here. Oh, okay, there it is. Well, yeah, there it is. Tyrant Hopper. This is basically Emperor Hopper, the same one in Windward Plains, but I think the description says it's mutated because there's not a lot of vegetations here, so it eats carrion or something like that. Now, remember. Oh my god. I'll probably just go somewhere safe and talk about it. Okay, let's just talk right here. So, let's just check their description. Petalflies. Yeah, right here. It says with ample vegetation, right? Like the heart of, well, Wyveria. And you see, we cannot find Petalflies anywhere else. In this game at least. Even though, you'll know that Scarlet Forests have more vegetations, definitely. Now if you look at the Tyrant Hopper, wait a minute. Yeah, like I said, it eats carrion. It's mutated because there are less vegetations, way less vegetations. These two descriptions contradicts each other. Petalflies and Tyrant Hopper. One says ample vegetations, one says it's scarce. It's weird out of context. It's rational for Tyrant Hopper to, well, finds a way to live, I guess. That's why they start eating carrion and they became a different species, especially if they eat Guardian's carrion, you know? Now, in the case of Petalfly, it's really weird to me because why would Petalfly arrives here in the first place? Because, yeah, like the map says, the item description of Wyveria Lantern says, Tyrant Hopper says, there's barely any vegetation in Wyveria ruins. I mean, ruins of Wyveria. But, I don't know, maybe they are brought here by the Wyveria or whatever, for whatever reason. Maybe for aesthetic, because, you know, they want a garden in this grim place. Who knows? Alright, let's continue to the special tree. A very special tree. The one that Endemic Lives Hunter are definitely familiar with. That one specific tree. I wonder, where do this water came from? I don't know. Not quite sure, but anyway, let's go to the tree. The creature itself will not be there. It's the Prism Hercudrome. Those who have collected endemic lives in Monster Hunter World. Or, you know, it has been quite some time since WoW's release. So I'm pretty sure most people, or at least a lot of you, have already known or at least heard of this creature. The Prism Hercudrome. This is the only creature in this game that I missed when I was first collecting endemic lives. I had to look up for informations on the internet for this one. So, Prism Hercudromes only spawns during the dawn or dusk during plenty. And we cannot exactly skip to that time frame, so we do need to wait quite a while actually. So, they only spawn in dawn or dusk, which is, well, the dawn is 3 minutes before morning, and for the dusk, it's probably the same, 3 minutes before night, but I haven't tried it myself. Oh, it's Prism Hercudrome, yeah. It's almost morning. The window of spawn is very limited. And it's not even guaranteed, so yeah. Oh, and it's gone. Oh, because it's morning. Nice. I don't recall Prism Hercudrome to be this rare, you know? I mean, in Monster Hunter World, it's still a rare endemic life, but it's not this tedious to find. Actually, Prism Hercudrome kinda camouflage nicely in this place. Oh, it's rubbing its hind leg. Usually, insects do this to clean themselves, but I wonder if this behavior is communicative. Or maybe it's releasing a secretion? I don't think it's producing any sound though. Or you know, it can simply be cleaning itself, like I said earlier. It's around 2 minutes before morning. So yeah. Within the usual time frame. Fun fact, I actually did a little experiment on this. Because you know that there are 7 phases of the moon in this game. I was wondering, does the phase of the moon affects the spawn rate of the Prism Hercudromes? So I did quite the research. And the answer is no, it doesn't affect the spawn rate at all. It is just that rare. So I spent like a whole day trying out the hypothesis, but no. Hypothesis rejected. Hours wasted, but no regrets at all. It is what it is. So yeah, if people are wondering How could I spend hours, well, 100 hours in this game while still being hunter rank 97, I think? That's why I often test, well, redundant things, I guess. Anyway, let's go deeper. Guardian cocoon or eggs. Not exactly sure. Wait. What? What? What is? What? Oh. This is supposed to be inside that. Yeah. This is the large cocoon hatching, I think. The map phenomenon. Where you can bring a monster here and this will hatch. It'll fight the monster. But yeah. I don't know why, but my game has been bugging quite a lot actually since the title update 1. Sometimes monsters are stuck, sometimes, well, this happened, but it is what it is, I guess. It's not exactly harmful, you know, but it's just breaking my immersion. Yeah, large guardian cocoon hatching. You know what? Let's reset the map. Maybe it'll fix itself if I go to another area and return here. I have a camp right around here, after all, so it's not gonna take a long time. Yeah, this is the camp, the one with fishing spot. I'll just store my items, reset the area, and yeah, go back to the Anjanath. Let's see if it is fixed. Well, it's gone at least. Yeah. Yep. There it is, inside the cocoon. Like how it should be. Actually, it's kind of cool if we can see the entire development process, but I don't think we can. So let's move on. By the way, I think I'm just gonna talk about the Guardian as a whole. Later, I'm not gonna separate them for each of their kind. My plan is I'm just gonna talk about them as a concept, you know? Not focusing on each of the quote-unquote species. But we'll see what'll happen in like 10 or 20 minutes from now on. Let's just go to the deeper part. Oh, another guardian, the Shagma. Well, I guess the pure positive thing about guardians is they have a justification to bring back any monsters, you know? Whether it's rational or not for that monster to exist right here. They could just be like, oh, it's a guardian. It's made up. So you can fight the monster, but you don't need to think about how the monsters got here, you know? Actually, I'm reminded of a animation skit. I think it's from NCH. The one where Devil Joe just dragon breathed itself to the new world. So yeah, you don't need to think about how and why a monster will be here. Just bring it back, make it a guardian. Well, I personally found it boring, but that's always a way, you know? Oh wait, I didn't make a camp here. Maybe I'll make one, but I think, yeah. Not enough slot. Oh, that's the blind perch. Blind fishes are common for speleos fish. Fish that live inside caves. No Jiwu. Let's wait a little bit before we go deeper. Actually, let's just go right now. It's not a big deal. Guardian Seikret, let's wake it up. Wake up! I know, right? Let's just check the Jubu nest. Well, can't really see anything right now, but yeah, the Jubu is not here. Soon enough, though. I wonder if I can see the... I don't even know what this is. Is this an egg? I mean, it probably is an egg. A really weird one though. Jubu's design and anything related to it is very fungi-like. Need to wait until plenty for the Suyo to hatch. So yeah, let's come back later. Hopefully while the Jubu is here. And that's the dragon torch thingy. Actually, I don't really have anything to do down here, but you know, let's just go down anyway, because why not? And this is the Arkveld resting place, or whatever you want to call it. And here is nothing. I wonder if this place will open up later on during title update, whatever. Or perhaps the DLC? The Master Rank one, I mean? Who knows? Okay, let's just wait for Jubu. Should be here soon. Jubu is quite a surprise for me because, well, it's not revealed at all, right? It's like the Namiel situation in Monster Hunter World Iceborne and Zoologist too, I think at least. Well, I avoided the teasers and trailers and streams during pre-release anyway, so I wouldn't know, but yeah. I like the fact that they make another cephalopod monster that feels very different. Because at some aspects, Jubu feels like a fungi, like I said earlier, but in some aspects, it feels more cephalopod than Nudra. For example, the mouth. That's a big part. Okay, so I guess Jubu doesn't spawn here. Let's look for it. Oh wait, this is the Pillopod Gillopod? Yeah, this is the spot. Actually, this creature is really weird. First of all, I was thinking, what is this creature based on? At first I was like, oh, this is a worm, right? But then I was like, wait, then what does the name means? What's the pod from? What's the pill from? What's the gill from? And then I checked the Japanese name, and it's Gyomudon for Pillopod and Gyomudon for Gillopod. And I think it's just referring to how they are basically doing nothing. It's like doing nothing and sleeping in a futon. And I think the descriptions also says they are a really mysterious creature. Yeah, they are basically doing nothing, just sticking to the wall, sucking milk, and yeah, that's their life. Yeah, and of course, as you can see clearly, because it has transparent body, it has open circulatory system with a really good heart. And the weirdest thing is, of course, their eyes. The eyeballs... Actually, let me just show you later. There. The eyeballs is an actual eyeball. I mean, like a chordate's eyeballs. not like an invertebrate's eye, you know? That's what's really interesting to me. A really interesting concept, because it looks very, very simple, right? But there's actually a lot of things that looks really weird about this creature, especially if you are into animal systematics. And that is literally my field, you know? Which is why when I first saw this creature, I stopped, I stared at it, and I was thinking, what is this supposed to be? A goofy creature that confuses me. A lot, actually. But I'm not gonna overthink it. If you have any thoughts on what this creature is based on, let me know in the comment. Or just share your thoughts, you know? Because why not? Because I know the Japanese Twitter loves the Kyomuton and Gyomudon. Anyway, let's continue to Zhu, which should be right over here. There it is. What? What? By the way, in case you were wondering, that was my auto move, for whatever reason. Oh, right, because it uses the Seikret Cephalopod teleportation technique. Of course. Well, I'll just skip to the part where I finally meet Jiwu, I guess. Or not, it's very close actually. Yep, right here. You know, what's funny about Jiwu is, well, first of all, I did say, like, 2 times earlier, I think, the design is very fungi-like. But another thing is, Jiwu looks very, I don't even know what's the correct word for this. Reserved? Very concealed. Like, it's concealing a lot of things. I mean, sure, that's literally the theme of Jiwu, right? It's an assassin. But yeah. For example, if you see the underside of Jiwu, right there. See? It's like a generic octopus underside. But when it's doing the corkscrewing attack, there's a lot of spikes, like a giant mouth underneath. Which is very interesting because, okay, first of all, those spikes have to go somewhere when it's concealed, right? And the only thing that I could think of is it stays inside its arms, its body, when it's not protruded. But I don't know, Jiwu just looks too slim to conceal that spikes. So perhaps there's another mechanism to how it could quote-unquote grow spikes. By the way, just clarifying, I mean the spikes underneath its body, not the yellow blade thing. Because the yellow blade thing is created with their secretion. It is written in the item description and monster description. Yeah, even if it's paralyzed, it doesn't really show that much. It doesn't really lose its cool, you know? It's still concealed. I think it's consuming milk. Oh yeah, Guardian Seikret is here. It's glowing now. I think the description of its item, the cerebrospinal fluid, says that's what makes it glow. Also, yeah, like I said, this is probably the 4th time, but it's very fungi-like and it's very parasitic or saprophytic, which is a nice design decision for a creature that is adapted to take advantage of the Wyvern build, or the Guardian at least. I kinda wanna see a variant of Jiwu that haven't discovered the temptation of Wyvern milk. Kinda curious how different it'll be. It hasn't used its corkscrewing attack against me this fight, but it should use it in its nest at least, right? Rest well, Shivu. Oh, it still glows. Even in its sleep, it's still concealed. Oh, by the way, this part right here looks like a beard to me. It's like a oriental assassin, you know, the classic depiction. Yeah, see how it looks modest? I'll fish for its corkscrewing attack. Okay, I think this... Wait, no. Oh yeah, this is it. Yeah, look at those spikes. Where did those come from? It's really good at concealing itself. Whoops. You know what? Let's take a hit from the corkscrewing attack. At least once, because why not? Okay, now? Yeah, that's like its ultimate attack. I wonder why it's not spamming that move. I mean, rationally, you know? Okay, now it's using it often. I mean, sure, you do you, I guess. See, it's nothing underneath. No spikes. Interesting mechanism. Oh wait, I can see it closer, right? If I do this, I want to see the egg. And see if I can see anything. Can I like stop swinging somehow? Or do I have to wait it out? Can't really see anything interesting. Yeah. These are all uniform. Oh wait, actually, I haven't talked about this, but this top of the head thingy, the spikes, and, well, the structures in general, I wonder if it's useful to block the entrance to its nest. Like, is it phragmotic to some extent? By the way, I have a video on phragmosis if you are interested. Especially if you've never heard of the term phragmosis before. But anyway, let's see the description. Piercing assassin. I wonder what's the sensory organ then. It's not specified here. Nor in any of the item description, at least I think so. Yeah, there's... I don't think anything is indicative of its sensory organ. And the description is a little bit edgy. Not as edgy as Gormagala's item description though. Corneum is an interesting naming. But it's fitting, I guess. Well, because Chuyo is not gonna hatch soon enough. Alright, I think I'm just gonna talk about Guardians while we wait. It's gonna be the Wyvern wait soon, the inclemency, so let's see if Ziwu is excited to feast on the Guardians, you know. Let's check the nest, but I don't think... Oh wait, it's right there. I'll go to the nest first. I don't think there is any reaction in the nest though, but I could be wrong, so let's double check. Yeah, I don't think there is anything special with these eggs during the Wyvern's awakening. Well, I guess we'll check on the Ziwu. which is right there. I think it's stuck. What is happening to my game, dude? Why? Or maybe it's just very excited for the Wyvern Wake, you know? Who knows? Yeah, but I don't think so. It's just stuck. I wonder how long will it be stuck right here. Alright, so I'm gonna talk about the Guardians right here. If you saw my no spoilers review video, I did say I personally am indifferent towards the concept. I don't hate the Guardians, but I also don't have a particular liking towards the Guardian. Like, I don't find it cool, you know? But I know the presence of Guardians have been a divisive topic in the Monster Hunter fandom. Oh my god, is that Jiwoo gonna be stuck again? Anyway, I am aware that some people think Guardians are too... how should I say it? It's not grounded, you know? Because there are some people that loves the grounded feels of Monster Hunter. Especially since World, if World is the main game that they play. Because, yeah, people said, oh, the Guardian stuffs and Wyvern milks is too unnatural for this. But I also know that some people who loves the lore side of Monster Hunter is, let's just say, very excited for the presence of Guardian because it support a lot of speculations and stuff like that. So, the one thing that I would like to point out, one of the things that has been debated for this whole Guardian topic is how rational it is. People think it's not rational for the Wyverians to have this kind of technology. And the other side almost always argues that, oh, our real world have clonings. We clones a lot of animals, which is being used to prove that this is definitely possible. But we are able to clone animals way after we discover electricity. We have a lot of electronics before we finally are able to clone animals. Now, if you are not new to the Monster Hunter universe, if you play a lot of the games, you would notice that there's not a lot of electricity. There is barely any electronics in this universe. And we discovered airplanes way before we discovered how to clone animals. We discovered tanks, rockets, stuff like that. What I'm trying to say is, the technological advancement between the two worlds, our world and this universe, is so different. Which is why, if you're actually gonna analyze the rationality of this technology, you need to think about it with the perspective of this universe, the Monster Hunter universe. You cannot pick an example from our world. You cannot say, oh, our world have clonings. This is rational. Cannot do that. But you also cannot argue against the rationality of this technology strictly with the logic that is applicable to our real world. For me personally, the problem with Monster Hunter Wilds writing is the fact that there is not enough crumbs about it. It's very open-ended, which is good for those who like to speculate stuffs. It's content for those people. It's just not for me because I don't like to speculate. I like to prove something with an empirical evidence, and there is not enough empirical evidence that we can actually observe the actual data, the hard fact that we can see. It's not provided. And I think the developers did say it is deliberate to make it open-ended so people can speculate. So yeah, I don't mind, it's just not for me. But I am not upset about it. If people can enjoy this site, then yeah, I am happy for those people. It doesn't ruin my enjoyment of the game, you know? Like I always say, which is good for me. If it's kinda outrageous, I just laugh at it. I'm not frustrated by it, you know? I'm not gonna be overthinking because of it. Alright, I almost forgot to say, the Guardians in this game is like a 3D print. It's not like the clonings that our real-world clonings do. Real-world clonings is embryonic clonings. You need the donors, the one that you want to clone, and you need the egg cell, the one that will become the actual creature, the thing. And it needs to be compatible and stuff like that. The clone is a actual living, biological, organic creature, not like the Guardians in Monster Hunter Wilds. It's very different. I mean, just look at this crystallized body when it contacts the walk pool. Oh, and also, the results of cloning in our real world is a lot of defect, usually. Even if it becomes an actual quote-unquote adult, it'll die soon enough. So yeah, this technology right here is way more advanced than our real worlds, so it's not comparable. The Suyos are hatching. Actually, what does Suyo means? Because Jiwu means void, I think. Nihility or something like that. What about Zuyo? Anyone speaks Chinese? Wanna enlighten me? Or Mandarin or Cantonese? I don't know for sure what the language is. But yeah, looking at Zuyo, it doesn't remind me of a Ephira or anything like that. It reminds me of Spore. Which is, again, maybe this is the 5th time I say this in this video. It's very fungi-like. I don't think I can see anything because it's not transparent. Not like the Nuyaya. It's opaque, yeah. It's just yellow and black. Cannot see anything inside. Oh, by the way, the only thing left for me is to talk about Arkveld. And I don't think Arkveld is here. I'm gonna wait a little bit. If Arkveld doesn't come, I'll just queue up on a quest and then observe it inside a quest. Oh, by the way, I am not gonna talk about Zoshia because it's basically pure lore. I don't have anything to say about it zoologically. Or at least, nothing different from my take for what I wanna say to the General Guardian. Oh wait, the skin is transparent, but there's basically just nothing to see, inherently. Oh, and also gets food reserve from the yolk, I guess. Actually, I wonder how many of these little creatures will survive and turns into adult. Because, well, most octopus hatchlings, octopus spawns, just dies. A lot of them don't survive in the wild. I mean the natural wild, not Monster Hunter Wilds, you know. Anyway, see you later when I finally find an Arkveld. Wherever or whenever it might be. Okay, here is Arkveld. So, if you have watched my previous videos, I did say I was excited for Arkveld because the concept of extinct species piqued my interest. My field is animal systematic, so I thought, oh, the existence of a presumed extinct species in this game will most likely shakes up the... Oh, it flies away. Anyway, it most likely would shakes up the taxonomic tree, the phylogenetic tree, even though it's not phylogenetic, but yeah. Because if an extinct species exists right now and you can observe it and you can compare it with other creatures, that would provide a lot of information for the, well, evolutionary relationship of the taxon. In this case, flying wyvern. But that's not exactly the case for this one because this is not an actual Arkveld. This is just a synthetic Arkveld that somehow returns to being an original Arkveld. Which is funny to me because people are comparing Arkveld with the quote-unquote the extinction of dire wolves. It's not exactly a parallel, but it's close enough. Oh, and also, when I was doing my no spoilers review video, and if you have watched that video, I did say they don't really talk about the extinction of Arkveld. And I think a lot of people misunderstood what I mean. Because I've seen some comments saying, oh, how could they know how the Arkveld went extinct? That's not what I meant. Declaring an animal is extinct means you have an evidence. You have a basis for, well, claiming that, you know? And if you look at the description, wait a minute. It says it is recorded in old, according to the old documents left behind by the guild. That means the guild have the records for Arkveld, and it declares the extinction of Arkveld. That's what I mean. In universe, they do have a reason to declare Arkveld is extinct, but they just don't talk about that in this game. That's what I meant. It's unfortunate that they don't talk about that, because declaring a species is extinct, it's not a simple task. You need to do a survey for that, for a period of time. I actually made a video talking about that, which is the video before this one. That video will be uploaded before this video, so if you're curious about the extinct category in our real world, consider checking that video out. I'll just put the card on the top right. Oh, actually, when I saw Arkveld's image for the first time, I focused on this quote-unquote chain, as with many others, I suppose. And my thought was, oh, maybe Arkveld is related to the Beducudos, which is interesting. That's why I was so excited for the quote-unquote extinct species title, you know? Because I thought, oh, maybe Arkveld is the ancestor for Beducudos, or whatever the implication might be, you know? I thought, oh, maybe it'll be talked about in the game, or something like that. But it's whatever. And the wing structure is completely different though. Arkveld looks very, I don't know, it looks very primitive compared to other flying wyverns. Well, the non-extinct flying wyverns, that is. Arkveld's wing structure is similar to Naruga Kuruga and Tigrex wing, while Beducudos is similar to something like Rathalos, the more advanced flying wyvern. Evolutionary wise, I mean. Well, I assume so. Actually, that makes me think, what is this chain structure before it became a chain? Maybe it was just a wing extension for display, and then they figure out, oh, I can use this. And over time, they evolve this chain that they can use to attack, grapples, and whatever. Actually, now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure the description of the Arkveld in the field guide says the chain is equipped with organs to absorb, what's it called? The whelk thing? The wyvern milk, basically? I wonder if that's exclusively for this Arkveld, the one that developed from Guardian Arkveld, or if the Arkveld species inherently have that. But that doesn't really make any sense. Whatever, I'll just wait for more information in the book, maybe. Oh my god, that Jiwoo is still stuck. Is it only in my game, or does this happen often for you guys too? Anyway, let's continue to the Arkveld and wait for it to sleep. Okay, it's finally asleep. I am stuck. I am still stuck. Oh, the chain is not extended. I mean, it's contracted. Let's see the face. You know, somehow Arkveld's face reminds me of Jindahat's face. Is it just me, or... I'm not even sure why. I just feel that way. But Arkveld's face is definitely livelier than Jindahat's face. Jindahat's face looks like a corpse. Okay, finally I can observe the chain. Because it's now extended, relaxed. Well, the muscle is kinda dead, so yeah. Actually, let me carve first, because, of course, I'm a hunter after all. Oh, it's a gem. Well, streamer's luck, except I'm not a streamer. Why am I pulling out my rod? Where is binocular? Here it is. The structure is definitely unique to Arkveld. I don't think I've seen this structure in real world animal. Nor any other monsters in Monster Hunter. At least I don't think so. Oh, okay. Let's clear this menu first. Skip, skip, skip. Well, it definitely looks like a structure that can contract and extend easily. It's like quote-unquote robbery, but not really. I wonder about its ontogeny. What does it looks like for hatchlings, Arkveld, and how does it develop as it grows older? Unfortunately, we don't really have that information, so yeah. Well, that's all the things I want to talk about, I think. Actually, wait a minute. Let's check the description. Wait, it's not here. Did I? Oh yeah, it says right here about the ability to absorb energy, so I didn't make it up myself. Yeah. Let's check the items. Oh yeah, there's no items that gives information about the inner structure of its wings, so yeah. Alright, let's wrap this video up. Actually, I have a good idea for a place to talk about my overall review of Ruins of Wyveria. If it's still there, some of you could probably guess what it is. Here it is. Let's talk right beside this Jew. So yeah, it is a wait, why is it aggroed? Oh my god, things are quite something. Leave me alone, I'm going to wrap this video. Let's just do it right here. Hi Rafma. Okay, so my overall thought on Ruins of Wyveria. It feels very synthetic, unnatural, which it is unnatural because this is quote-unquote made by the Wyverians. But looking at the descriptions for Petalflies, the Tyrant Hopper, and the Lantern, I don't know, I feel like it's quite a mess. There are some contradictions, things that are unclear, stuff like that, which I personally don't like, but if that is intended, then sure, I guess. Still, you can look at Ruins of Wyveria like it's a urban area, like our real-world urban area. Animals converge here because some resources are concentrated here, and for some animals, it's very easy to take advantage of. and some are even adapted to live here. Just like our urban area. Some animals in our real world are adapted to live alongside human, or to live on a ruins left by humans, just like ruins of Wyveria basically. So I think ecology-wise, this place is rational, at least. Ecology-wise. I don't mean the rationality of the guardians, wyvern mills, and the advanced technology made by the Wyverians. I'm just looking at it as a end result, If there is a place like this, I would believe it if the ecosystem is like this. That's what I mean. And yeah, this is the last area. I've made one video for each area, so yep. Now I can finally play the game as a hunter, not as a zoologist that is trying to explore things and looking at the creatures. Because it's been more than a month, I think, since release, and I've only played with my friends once. I am gonna do that, definitely. If my friends are watching this video, then hey, let's finally play together, okay? And for all of you, hope you enjoy Monster Hunter, hope you enjoy whatever you are doing, and as always, enjoy your day. Oh, by the way, it's a tradition for Hunter to share their Hunter profile, so here is mine. Just to show you that I actually play the game, You can add me if you want to. I don't know why you would do that, but yeah, here it is. Oh wait, isn't there an achievement for that? Oh yeah, maybe add me so I can add you back to help me get the achievement. I'm joking by the way, but feel free if you want to.